DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125 across all our social media handles. We're Joy News on TV. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, mixed reactions greet government's decision to reintroduce road tolls. We'll hear from some drivers on this, even as economists are divided over Ghana's current debt stock.
They are going to reinstall or recommission the toll booths. I expect that they do away with the e-levy. You know, I mean, the taxes are too much.
Also in this bulletin, disagreement at Atta Mills Memorial Service after Kokwai Indo's foundation overrun scheduled time, delaying second NDC event at Asumdwe Park. We've got business, showbiz, sports and world news in this package. Do stay with us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. My name is Faustina Safo. Let's settle now for details. There has been mixed reactions to government's decision to reintroduce road tolls. Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam at the 2024 Media Budget Review announced that government had granted approval for the establishment of a framework for the reintroduction of road tolls by 2025. Now, though positive on the impact to the road tolls, some drivers believe additional taxes on the citizenry is a bane to economic growth. Let's listen to them.
I think since it came out that like we should stop using the toll booth, and then they bringing in the e-levy. I knew that since this thing is still there and then they haven't demolished it, it will still they'll still bring it. So I mean, if they are going to reinstall or recommission the toll booths, I expect that they do away with the e-levy. Exactly. And then I mean, the taxes are too much. Looking at how the country is right now, there are no jobs and all that. And then yes, I think the COVID levy was introduced in 2020, right? And then we are still paying for COVID. So I mean, in a way, I'm also not shocked if they try and then recommission or bring this thing back.
Actually, in my honest opinion, I don't mind, because it's either the toll or another tax. They will have to raise money that way. So maybe this is the easiest way of raising taxes. That's why I don't really mind whether they bring it or not.
But for the toll, before, there are people who sell around here. And but for them to bring the toll and not taking the levy, I think for me, I would say, okay, they should bring it, because there are people who sell around here. Plenty people, like, they sell different items. And then when they cancel the toll, those people, they are just played. Some are not having their jobs. I learned because of this thing, some have gone back to their villages. And it is true, because if you are selling here and they've cancelled the toll, who are you going to sell to? You can't be selling to the cars that are passing. So I think if they want to bring back the toll and still make but they should try ways and means to take off the e-levy. Because if they are bringing it back, that's what they took it off for. So now why are they not taking it off and bring out the toll?
So the bank, any problem. Somebody live in a phone the road to Naba.
It's not a problem reintroducing the tolls, but they shouldn't compound it with the e-levy. They should scrap it.
Any problem? I told you, I got what the bar made a minute. If they are quite numbers, I quite to time. My discard, they're quite phone calls and numbers. Do you know what the band was on the phone? I remember they are told no man to baby.
I don't agree with the reintroduction of the tolls. Of what benefit has it been to us? Our roads were bad when they were taking them. It's not necessary.
Some side about the Ababua, Abuama, Yapana, they say, Yapana, especially Salmon Ponting Road, you say. Now, goes to a cheaper house and come to me, teacher part to a man will be. The Bassa Baboy, only the tone become a behavior. There's a committee may ye flew at the allow, bet me.
It will help with road construction. We need roads now, and this will help with it. But it should not add that to the e-levy, or better, take away some taxes.
Yeah, 60 cities. I ain't you. The bus on the theatre. I will see the bit my boy.
As a driving empty, to no crampon. The own father and Fasudia Park, Paysic Planet Bama.
and I say, am I a crampona or mine? I say, you have to be in the free. It is what the boat, so on from boat, you my choice. Omuni and two move money. Unto move for the same wedding at him.
The government doesn't heed to what we suggest. Whatever they feel like doing, they should.
We are saying, baby, route to the MCA Juma. Minister no chum, cramming who's also no. Actually, no, but as an oversadia banana, I had the amount for Cassahuant. If he say, what the bar, a bebois, a memona, my quina was on me and on me, ye papa.
While still on the media budget review, some economists are divided over Ghana's current debt stock, which is now 742 billion cedis, accounting for 70.6% of the nation's gross domestic product. Now, there is a 20% increase as compared to last year, and this is largely driven by the cedi depreciation and also government's continuous borrowing. Professor Michael Ayamga, an applied economist at the West African Center for Sustainable Rural Transformation, and Professor Isaac Bwedi, Dean of the Department of Accounting and Finance at UPSA, spoke earlier on NewsX.
I have traveled to 3, 4, 5 countries this year. All of them are dealing with inflation. But what they have succeeded in doing is to ensure that food prices are kept low. If you do that, you are going to ensure that households get some disposable income through the savings they are making from food expenses, and they can begin to demand other non-agricultural products. That will stimulate the domestic sector so that we can begin growing back up. That is what the minister is not doing. Yesterday, you sat down, you listened. There is nothing to help agriculture. There is nothing to focus on the smallholders who are producing from farm or backyard to the table. There should be strategies targeting these people because they are the most vulnerable. Yesterday, what the minister did was look for the data and look for reference points that make us look good and present them. It didn't tackle the reality. And we are continuously borrowing and spending in the wrong sectors, going after infrastructure programs that bring procurement projects so that we can continue to award contracts and not actually investing in the real sector, not actually giving some reprieve to corporate Ghana, not reducing the taxes, not trying to do something to ensure that at least the cost in utilities and energy becomes manageable for industry so that they can produce and be competitive. At the
in terms of debt accumulation, the rate of accumulation is very high. And it's a worrying situation to every country because we are beyond the threshold. And there are implications when you have such a situation. The implications are also as indicated. You have the crowding out effect, you have the limited space in terms of you're unable to, revenue-wise, you have a lot of issues. Now, the other thing is that whenever a country, you get to this stage, for me, other countries have gone through this situation before, although I've indicated that it might not be as a good signal for a country development. But when you cross that threshold, it doesn't also mean that every economic activity, everything should be halted. Countries have also gone through, they are able to service their debt. Now, when you get to this stage, you have about 6 things to do. Either you strengthen your fiscal discipline as a country, or you promote your economic growth.
Where your election headquarters. Now, the governing New Patriotic Party's vice presidential candidate, Dr. Matthew Pokuprembe, is on a campaign trail in Adam. He's paid a courtesy call on the paramount chief of Adam. Samuel Imbura joins us live with details. Samuel, tell us what's happening as we speak.
So we are currently moving from the Adam Paramount Palace, headed for the Nimba Chief Palace. Today, these rounds are part of this campaign tour on the Greater Accra region. We know he has visited other regions as well, and he's trying to familiarize with the traditional authorities. before he hits the ground running on his main campaign. And we know that this is about the third region that he had visited since he was appointed running mate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. At the palace of the Ada Paramount Chief, he was quite happy about the reception that was given him, and actually indicated that the Ada town or the traditional area is second home. Says he has strong ties to the area, and he sees his visit as coming home to introduce himself to his own brothers and sisters and fathers. Dr. Michael Boko-Pempe used the opportunity to assure them that this area is well endowed, and with he and Bawumia at the helm of affairs, this area would be developed, especially the tourism that we have in the area, and also noted that the deplorable nature of the road is something that is on their radar, and given the opportunity, they would ensure that these issues are addressed. He ended his speech by calling for partnership between the political leaders and that of the traditional authorities. He said there's a need to move on to the next stage of development in the country, where you have development in partnership, not just leaving it to the traditional authorities to decide what to do. The political authorities to decide what to do for the country. So we've also had a message from the Paramount Chief for the Ada traditional area. He says he's happy about his track record. Even at the time the free SHS was implemented under his regime as education minister, he didn't run away from the obstacles and decided or persevered to ensure that the challenges were overcome. So he says that the policy, since its implementation, has actually reduced the burden of the ordinary Ghanaian and also bridged that gap between the rich and the poor. So in short, I must say that although it has been a brief engagement here, the people here have been welcoming the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, with most of them expressing optimism that Dr. Bawumia Nako ticket is the surest bet towards the development of the country.
Samuel, I know you're on the go right now. Where are you heading to, and what's next on the agenda?
So on the agenda today, he's supposed to visit about 4 paramount seats. So we move to Ningo Pram Chief Palace, where he's paying a similar courtesy call on him. After that, we move to the Tema Paramount Chief, and then later he ends it at the Lungwa Paramount Chief, where he would be holding both indoors and outdoors conversations with the people in these areas.
Thank you, Samuel Mbura, a member of our political desk here at Joy News. We know that the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says that the northern belt of the country stands a chance of getting more developmental projects under his presidency than John Dramani Mahama. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party believes the 2024 election is crucial for the people of the north, as it gives them the opportunity to decide which party and candidate can better serve them.
And 2024 flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, started his constituency tours in the Upper West region, first by paying a courtesy call on the overlord of the Walla State, now Sedi Pilipo IV. His speech was familiar, old and rehashed to carry the same persuasive power whom he shared ancestral ties with.
Mahama can be president for only 4 years. Dr. Bawumia, inshallah, can be president for 8 years. 8 years. I believe that the North and the Wa State will benefit more from 8 years of a Bawumia presidency than 4 years of the other option. So I am making a plea that we should look at this carefully. When the presidency leaves the North, it may not come back for a very long time. A very long time. So if we have a chance to get the presidency, let us look at somebody who has already done a lot of work and shows that if he is president, he can do more.
He therefore opined that elevating him to the most coveted position will be of enormous benefits to the people.
With your prayers and your support, you help me to sit on that seat. Then you know you have your own son in the seat as President of the Republic of Ghana. And I will do everything to support the development of the Wa State.
The Wa municipality for the past 3 years has witnessed a series of murders numbering 17, which is a worry to the Wallo overlord. Nafusin Siripilipo IV, in a speech read on his behalf by spokesperson Nakadir Ibrahim, stated that despite several assurances from duty bearers, especially the police service, that they were working to unravel the mysteries surrounding the gruesome murders, very little has changed. He called on the vice president, being the chairman of the police council, to retool the police service in the region to help apprehend the perpetrators of the heinous crime.
We are deeply concerned about the safety and security of our people, particularly the vulnerable watchmen who work tirelessly to protect our communities. As chairman of the Ghana Police Council, Your Excellency, we implore you to use your office to enhance the capacity of the Wa and Upper West Police Command. We urgently need additional men and logistics, such as patrol vehicles, to effectively address the current security challenges we face.
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia later rolled out of the Wa Township and headed to the Wa West to meet with chiefs and people of the area. He wrapped up day one at the Watindama Park where the constituency connect.
When Mahama was president, he couldn't develop the north. The whole of the Upper West region, the NDC in 8 years never completed one major road. The whole of Upper West.
Reporting for Midday News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Away from politics, less than 24 hours after government announced plans to settle all outstanding allowances owed SITAC, the leadership has announced a total withdrawal of all services, including attendance of meeting. The teachers refused to call off their strike despite a court order declaring their strike illegal. The salary for the month of July of those who did not return to post have been frozen. However, Professor Francis Nonu says the teachers have 8 days to return to their classroom or forfeit their salaries for the month of July, while they also work to pay the outstanding allowances of the aggrieved teachers. Well, let's do more on this. There's a statement coming up on your screen shortly from SITAC. It says SITAC withdraws all services in an emergency meeting of National Council today, 23rd July. Council members took a unanimous decision to withdraw all our services, which include attendance to meetings, congregation ceremonies, and provisions of academic counseling services, as well as supervision of students in the halls of residence with immediate effect until further notice. Well, the decision, they say, is in response to the Minister for Education's directive to principals and Controller and Accountant General not to validate the July 2024 salaries of teaching staff of the 46 public colleges of education due to our ongoing legal strike. Meanwhile, leadership has referred the illegal directive to freeze our July 2024 salaries to our lawyers to take the necessary action on it immediately. We wish to assure all members that leadership is determined to fight until justice is served, SITAC. Meanwhile, a parliamentary select committee meeting with GTEC and SITAC has postponed that meeting today. Kweku Asante is on the line. He joins us with more. Kweku, what can you report?
Well, we know that the Education Committee in Parliament wanted to resolve this strike, which has been going on for weeks now. The Select Committee was expected to meet members of CTAG as well as the leadership of GTEC to thrash out these issues. The committee recognizes that the latest action by GTEC to freeze the salary of these teachers for the month of July could escalate matters, and they wanted to have a conversation around this. We understand now that the Education Minister himself has taken charge of this issue. He has called the same meeting between CTAG and GTEC to try and resolve the issue, for which reason the Education Committee has decided to postpone their meeting until that meeting concludes and the outcome is known by the public. So we understand that in the coming week, the committee will then make an application in Parliament to try and get an issue and resolve it. But this is something big that Parliament has been raising. In fact, only last week, there was a big committee of the whole minister and the employment minister briefed Parliament about this strike action and to find a way to resolve it, Faustina.
Thank you, Kweku Asante. We'll be back with more in subsequent bulletin. Well, President Akufo-Addo is demanding greater transparency and accountability in the judiciary as he insists that public trust is essential for the effective functioning of the country's democracy. Now, he says it is only when judges are held to the highest standard of conduct that public trust will be deepened in the justice system. He spoke at a ceremony at the Jubilee House when he swore 16 new justices of the Court of Appeal.
It is important to bear in mind that the growth of our nation demands that we have a judiciary that commands the respect of the people by the quality of its delivery of justice, as well as by the comportment of its judges. It is vitally important that we have judges who are honest, possess integrity, and a sound knowledge of the law. As justices of appeal, I do not expect that you will prefer judgments on the basis of decisions from lower courts and cite them as law. And even less so, do I expect that you will cite no authority for your rulings and give orders without reasons. You are presumed to be learned and to have a deep knowledge of case law. It is expected that your decisions and judgments will be properly motivated in accordance with the principle of stare decisis, the doctrine of precedent, which has been the foundation for the evolution of the common law. Another critical area that demands our attention is the issue of judicial independence. The judiciary should be free from any form of external influence or interference, be it political, economic, or social. It is only through preserving this independence that we can be sure that justice is administered impartially, that the rights of all citizens are protected, and that the oath judges take to act without fear or favor, affection or ill will is fulfilled. As justices of appeal, you must remain vigilant in safeguarding this independence and advancing the principles of fairness and impartiality. Furthermore, we must continue to strive for greater transparency and accountability within our judicial system. The public's trust in the judiciary is essential for the effective functioning of our democracy. It is therefore incumbent upon us to ensure that our judicial processes are open and transparent, and that judges are held to the highest standards of conduct. This includes not only adhering to ethical guidelines, but also being proactive in addressing any concerns or criticisms that may arise.
Now, there has been disagreement at Asumdwe Park where separate 12th anniversary word-laying ceremonies for former President John Evans Atta Mills took place. Now, one event organized by the NDC member and founder of Atta Mills Institute, Kweku, ran over its scheduled time, delaying the second event organized by the NDC itself and the JEA Mills Memorial Heritage. Now, according to the late president's brother, Samuel Atta Mills, Kweku abused his power, and these individuals he labeled as fake family members and instructed them to stay put preventing the NDC from starting its program on time. Maxwell Agaba is on the ground. He joins us live. Maxwell, run us through the sequence of events. What actually happened?
Well, it all started when sometime around 9 a.m. The organizers, mostly from the NDC, were ready to start the second event here at the Asumdue Park. Now, this event is organized together with the JEA Memorial Heritage, and it was scheduled to take place right after Koku Anyidoho's foundation, the Institute, finishes theirs. So the first event was expected to end before 9 o'clock a.m., but that did not happen. They still had some of the participants of the first event still present here on the ground. So I'm told that security personnel asked those participants to leave the ground for the second event to take place. Many of them said no, they were not going to leave because they were family members of the former president, John Evans Atta Mills. It took the intervention of some members of the NDC, senior members of the NDC, and I saw particularly the Member of Parliament for the NDC, the Dodio constituency, Nielante Vanderpool, who was part of the team that calmed tensions and held a meeting, a 30-minute meeting with the aggrieved group before they left the ground. Some of the speakers here at the second event organized by the NDC and the John Evans Atta Mills Heritage Memorial have been speaking to the incident. We had the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia. He described Koku Anyidoho as a pretender, and he said that next year the celebration, this anniversary, is going to be a massive one, and it will be a day of accountability for the persons he described as pretenders. Sister of John Evans Atta Mills, Mercy Kwashi, has also been addressing the audience. He spoke directly to the issue and said that the people who came here earlier were not relatives of the former president. He said that they are going to deal with the founder of the JEA Mills Institute, for the Atta Mills Institute, that is Koku Anyidoho. Flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, has also been speaking, but he was silent on the earlier incident. But he said that a lot of the values and the things that the former president stood for are currently missing in today's governance structure. He is promising that the NDC will restore that if it is elected in the December elections. But as we stand here right now, the ceremony is just about closing after a writ-laying ceremony by the former president and flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, and his running mates.
Very Reverend Amos Justice Kobe, Superintendent.
Monitoring that story in subsequent bulletin. My name is Faustina Safo. You're watching Joy News today. We'll be back with business, sports, and showbiz after this break.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the business segment on Joy News. Today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. The Alliance of African Multilateral Financial Institutions has invested some $62 billion to address trade and investment gaps in the country. Now, the support is also to tackle challenges affecting the agricultural value chain to enhance the capacity of small and medium-sized enterprises to export. More in this report.
Every member of the Alliance has equal rights and responsibilities. We just another member of it. However, we will, the only thing I can say, anything that is specifically required of our President Bank to do, and if our President Bank has the capacity to do it, you can be sure that our President Bank will do it. We will make sure we make our own financial contributions. We will invest the time and resources. Anything that we have the comparative advantage to do, and the members ask that we do it, we will not hesitate to do it. And I believe every member will say the same of their institution, because that is, we believe that this is an initiative that benefits not only us as institutions, but the continent as a whole, because we have the same goals. There's no institution here that doesn't have the goal of helping Africa to develop. We are owned by the same people. The only thing is we are different institutions, owned by the same people, the same goals, different institutions. What makes sense in that? Come together and do things together, because each of us has specific areas they specialize in. So we just come together and make sure we make each and every one of us more effective.
Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Wamkele Mene, is downplaying criticisms that the African Continental Free Trade Area has yielded minimum impact in terms of intra-African trade. Now, despite coming into force in 2019, Africa is still grappling with the full rollout of the free movement of goods and services. More from Blessed Sugan.
A handshake heralding a renewed partnership with the media to enhance trade promotion and investment across Africa. The African Continental Free Trade Area says its agenda to create a single African market is equally hinged on showcasing trade opportunities through the media, a reason for which the Secretary General is hosting Constant Nimali, the president of the Africa 24 media platform.
This MOU, for me, is including every single media, every single journalist in Africa. It would be a work on a daily basis, a daily challenge. It's a challenge for us. We need to be with you. We need to be with the FCTA. We need to bring it all across the continent. And we are going to be successful. Definitely. We are going to be successful because here, sometimes I like to be pragmatic. We are going to invest to bring here, in this building or in Ghana, training session for journalists across Africa. You have to train them. So, starting in September, we are going to bring journalists across the continent to train them about the challenge of FCTA, first thing.
Taking his turn to address the press, Secretary General Wamkele Mene downplayed assertions by critics that the African Continental Free Trade Area is having no impact on the continent.
In 2018, they told us, I will tell you a story. President Kagame said in 2018, for the AFCFTA, they are congratulating us because they think that we cannot do it. They are congratulating us because they think that it can be done. 45 countries signed in March 2018. The following year, the agreement entered into force. They said Africans can't do it. They'll just talk forever. Africans don't have a history of achieving anything. Agreement entered into force. Then they shifted the goalposts. They said Africans will not implement it. And then now here we are. So for me, you don't know how proud I am to be an African today, because we've done it. You don't know how proud I am, because we've done it. So we are trading, goods are moving, we have harmonized rules, we have challenges, infrastructure, the cost of, but we are moving.
In the coming years, the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat is hoping to increase its cooperation with the media in showcasing more opportunities across various markets in Africa.
Blessed Sugan filed that report. That's it for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Sports is next.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Ghana Premier League champion Samatex, who will be representing the country in this year's CAF Champions League. After winning the Ghana Premier League, the Samurai Boy team has been drawn in one of the toughest groups in this year's CAF Interclub competition. But business development manager Paul Ayaba insists that they will be ready to compete against the best in the continent.
We are also very happy because we have been consistent in our communications that going far in the Champions League partly depends on the kind of draw you get. If we had drawn the likes of Ali, Sundowns, and so on and so forth, yes, football is full of uncertainty, but I would have admitted that our chances are very, very marginal. However, with Victoria and having run some investigations on the team and their performances, we feel that yes, we are new. We are going into our debut season in the Champions League, but we have what it takes to eliminate them and get to the final preliminary round.
Okay, so lastly, I want you to tell me the target for Samatex. At what stage would you deem it successful?
Dreams and Mediama did very well for Ghana football when they represented us last season. And if we get to the group stages, it will be deemed as a very successful campaign, not only for the club, but for Ghana, because of every Ghanaian football enthusiast that we get our 2 slots back. And we feel that now it is our turn. When I say we, I am referring to FC Samatex and our friends Swatemai FC Ade, so that we will get our 2 slots back. So at Samatex, we are pushing and eyeing to get to the group stages. And we are mindful of the fact that if we are able to eliminate Victoria, we are meeting Raja. But then when we get to the bridge, we'll know how to cross it.
That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has officially responded to claims of Paralympic team absconding in Norway, and we'll have details for you in our subsequent bulletins. We appreciate your time.
Good afternoon, you're welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Sumayabwa. Now to our first story, Ghanaian music producer and Chief Executive Officer of Extra Large Music, JMJ, has stated that he's still paying debt from productions he did for his former artist, Kaki. He told Joy FM's journalist, Kwame Dadzi, on Showbiz A to Z that apart from revenue from live shows Kaki played, he did not make gains.
Kaki, known offstage as Grace Kaki Awo Okanse, signed with Extra Large Music over a decade ago. Despite her 2024 tease about returning to the music scene, her fans are still left waiting for the beat to drop. Chief Executive Officer of Extra Large Music, the music label JMJ, shared with Kwame Dadzi on Joy FM's Showbiz A to Z that apart from revenue from Kaki's live shows, he hasn't made much moolah. In fact, the financial harmony has been more like a discord.
Did you make money from Kaki's projects?
As we speak, I'm still servicing debt.
How?
Yes.
Eka. Debt.
Yeah.
How? But her songs are there and you own the rights to the songs.
Like I told you, you see, because of the time those songs came out, social media and the knowledge of how to promote, put the songs at the right places, we didn't know. Half of our songs are being monetized by other people on YouTube.
But she played shows?
So where we were seeing inflows were directions. That's why back then we paid attention to shows more than all of these things. That's also why the old artists could not transition into the new era, because they were used to the old ways of working, where an executive producer will go and pay the studio, they'll finish, Big Ben will buy the album, and then the next thing is all about show. So,
well, while most toddlers are mastering the art of walking, 2-year-old Ace Liam already painted his way into the Guinness World Record books. Now, Ace Liam, who backed the Guinness World Record for the youngest male artist, is now on a mission to cultivate creativity in other kids. We have more in this report.
Ace Liam's achievement added another bright star to Ghana's galaxy of record breakers. His incredible feat follows closely behind 29-year-old Abubakar Tahiru, who hacked his way to the most trees hacked in an hour, and Felicity, who zoomed to fame with the most cars washed. In a bid to ensure his creative journey continues, an outreach initiative has been launched in Ace Liam's name. This initiative aims to nurture and polish the talent of young artists across Ghana, making sure every child has a chance to shine. Ace Liam's mother, Chantal Egan, spoke to Joy News.
It's been a journey, and today we stand here to celebrate his second birthday, which is a great milestone in his life. 2 years isn't easy for somebody who has already been declared the youngest artist in the world. This is meant to grow bigger than we want it to, and I want to raise him in the light of giving back to society. For me, I believe that as a mother, to whom much is given, much is expected or deserved. That is why we are here in the first place. And the future for the Ace Liam Outreach Initiative really looks bright, where I personally want to take this initiative further, where we bring kids together to nurture their talent in art. Basically, we want to create this initiative around his achievements, where kids are nurtured in art. We give back through art. He sells his paintings. Proceeds are raised to this charity initiative.
From breaking records to breaking new ground, Ace Liam is proof that big things really do come in small packages. With his new initiative, he's painting a bright future for the next generation of artists. For Joy News, I am Jacqueline Ansama Yabua.
Well, Joy Prime will start airing the season 2 of his lifestyle show, Dubs Changes. The program will be hosted by Rosalind Felly, and the first show airs today at 1 p.m., which is just a few minutes away. So you would want to stay for that. Back to you, Faustina.
For bringing us showbiz. I love what Ace is doing, helping young people also nurture their talents. Well, that's it for our show today. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Some top stories there: striking CTAG members withdraw all services as government withholds salaries. My name is Faustina Safo. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our program. Jackie, let's go.